All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. So again, we are live streaming live on YouTube as well as here for those that have joined tonight. And so the room will be open for people to join on at different times. So let's see here. Let's get going here. All right, so welcome to Money Matters, Financial Aid and Tips for Finding Scholarships. So I am Gloria Calhoun. I am the founder and executive director of Harvesting Scholars Educational Consulting and Scholars to Leaders, Inc., where we work with high school students, helping them to understand the college admissions process. And one of my goals is to help students, no matter what their goal is, help them to understand that they can achieve it, no matter how big, no matter how small. That's what I'm here to do, is to help. So tonight we have our program, Money Matters, Financial Aid and Tips for Finding Scholarships. If you have questions along the way, feel free to ask or place it in the chat, and I'll be sure to make sure that I am answering those questions. Or if you don't have questions, that's fine. I'll have my contact information at the end if you feel more comfortable connecting with me offline. But now we'll get started with Money Matters, Financial Aid, and Tips for Finding Scholarships. So we know that navigating financial aid and scholarships can be a daunting task, but with a few simple strategies, just a little bit of knowledge, college success is within reach. Understanding the various sources and requirements for financial aid and scholarships can greatly reduce the financial burden of higher education if you have a solid plan in place. Typically what I do, just to break the ice, is I have an activity that I do, but those of you that are online, you can unmute if you would like, or you can just reflect within yourself. But I want you to think about the future. So right now, as we said, we're sitting here on Monday, June the 12th, 2023. And if we were to take a peek into the future, fast forward 10 years, and it's the year 2020, 2033, imagine what your life is like. Do you have your dream house? What's your dream house? Is it a huge house with a 4-car garage with a pool in the back? Is it a condo? Do you have kids in your dream? Your travel? What is your dream? How do you see yourself living in the next 10 years? So I'll give you a few seconds just to think, and it's okay to dream. But then we've got to come back down to reality. Back to reality. So remember that you write the story of your own life. We're back right now here, June 12th, 2023, and many of you will be graduating within 1 year. Some people have already graduated. So think about, what did you see in your future that can help you now in your decision-making of choosing a career? If you'd like to put it in the chat, if you'd like to unmute, you're fine. If you don't want to share, that's fine, but we really just want you to get that in your mind and realize that the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. Whatever your choice, and if going to college for some, or getting a certificate, or going straight to work, whatever your decision, the decision you make today affects the rest of your life. If you decide to go to college to get a certificate, a 4-year degree, or what have you, you got to pay for it. It's not all free. You may get a free ride, what people say a full ride, but there will still be some out of pockets. And that's one of the things that here at Harvesting Scholars, we want to make sure that our students and those that we are connected to are prepared, and they know exactly, or almost a little bit, about what to expect. All right, so I had a poll right here. I don't know how many students are on here, but I'm going to launch this poll. And if you can do me a favor and tell me that's not the right poll. Give me a second. They weren't in order. So the poll that I would like to share, go back, is, all right, so those of you that are online, and Antonia, you can answer for your nephews if you'd like. So what year will you be graduating from high school? And do you already have money saved for college?
Awesome. I'll let the gentleman go first then for Zion. Might be shy. That's all right. So one of my nephews, he'll be graduating in 2024.
Okay.
And then the other one's going to be graduating in 2025. So they're right behind each other. And it's almost like a triple whammy because I was more interested in to get this for them, but also I have to go back to school for my master's. And so I intend on graduating either 2020, late 2024 or 2025, early 2025. But I'm running into some of the same problems that I ran into when I graduated high school for finding financial aid too. And so that's kind of why I was like, well, maybe I need to listen in definitely for them because I want to help them, but also to figure out like what I didn't know then I can get now.
Absolutely. So hopefully there will be some nuggets that you can use as well in your journey towards finding some money to help offset the cost of your college education as well. So this is helpful. So class of 2024, 2025, you are right on time. This is why I like to do this, especially in the summer, so that you can start thinking, because graduation will be here before you know it. By the time the summer is over, you're going back into especially my seniors, it's going to go by so fast. And I want you to at least have some knowledge in the back of your head that will help you to be prepared. And Tony, I think some of it will help you as well.
Awesome.
Okay, so there's another poll that I want to share with you. Just to kind of get an idea. Let's see where your head is with this one. I want to know, let's see if this is the right one. How much do you think it costs to attend a 4-year college or university per year before financial aid is applied, before scholarships are applied? How much do you think it costs to go to college? You think it's less than 10,000? Between 10,000, 20, between 20, 30? Okay. Okay. My answer to that is it's kind of all of the above. So it depends on the type of school that you'll be attending. Whether if you attend a technical school where it's 2-year, or if you're going for a certificate program, or if you're going to a 4-year, if you're going out of state, there are so many different variables that play into that cost of whether you're going in state, you're going private versus public school. All of those factors play a part in those costs. Now, I'm going to move on forward. Thank you for participating in my poll. All right, so this was 2018, 2019, the cost of attendance at the University of Georgia. So tuition and fees in Georgia, it's $11,830. I'm sure it's gone up since then. Again, like, let's look at the date here. This is an older slide. So you have your tuition and fees, you have your typical residence hall, a 7-day meal plan or a full meal plan, and then the estimated books, supplies, and living expenses. You're looking at around $26,688. So all those answers that you all placed in the poll, they're right. And again, it depends on which school you go to. Now, if you look at the difference here, look at the non-resident. So someone that goes out of state to school, know that you will be paying out-of-state fees, and you see how that cost substantially rises. So those are some things that you need to keep in mind as you are selecting the college that you will be attending this coming for next fall, or whenever it is that you will be entering college. So what do you think about that? Is that something is that surprising? Was that kind of right on track of what you were thinking?
It's definitely grown over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to keep growing.
Mm-hmm. it continues to rise. And so one of the things that I also want to make you aware of, and just to remember that if you stay on campus, if you live in the dorms, most schools are going to require that you have a meal plan. And those meal plans can be costly as well. And they vary again, depending on which school you go to. So you will have your tuition, your fees. Yes, you'll be paying Coliseum fees and lab fees and all these fees that you can't get out of. But those are things that you need to have in the back of your mind. Books, you're going to have books and supplies that you have to do as well. All right, so that leads me to this question. So what is financial aid and why do I need it? Believe it or not, some people feel like, well, I don't need financial aid. Some people feel like they make too much money for financial aid, but financial aid is a way to help. It could offset some of the cost of your college education. In order to receive assistance with paying for college or to further your education, it's necessary for some people to apply for aid or assistance. There may be many types of financial aid, and there are many types of financial aid, and we'll go over a couple of those in just a moment. But make sure that you are speaking with your high school counselor, whatever college or university that you decide to go to, make sure that you are speaking with them to be able to get a good understanding of what that financial aid looks like, how that financial aid package works. And I'm also here and available to help you understand that as well. So one of the things that I want to share with you, there are different types of aid. You've got your free money, your borrowed money, and your earned money. Your free money, that's money that you do not pay back. That's scholarships, that's grants. Everybody may not qualify for grants because grants are based on need, but scholarships is something that any and everybody can apply for. And we'll talk more about that in just a moment. But you have your merit or academic that's based off your grades and just things that you do in your community, in your school, your extracurriculars, that can be sports. It's need-based. There are scholarships, grants, and of course, there are also loans. Each type of financial aid has its own eligibility requirement. Like I just said, such as financial need, academic performance. But understanding these requirements can help you determine which type is the best fit for you. But I don't know about you, but free money is always the best fit. You don't have to pay it back. That's somebody giving you money. So free money would be considered money that you don't have to pay back. This would be your scholarships and grants, as we've already stated. Borrowed money is that money, those student loans that you all the time will pay back with interest. It's an investment for your future if you need it to help pay for your college education and expenses. I try to encourage students and families to start saving earlier. That was one of my questions. How have you saved any money for college? Because you're going to need it. Earned money, that's money that you earn by going to work. You actually have to work for that. Oftentimes, students will qualify for something that's called work study, and that's where students are able to earn income while they are working jobs on campus. Your earned money would also include working during the summer, working part-time, and saving your money in order to pay and put towards your college expenses. So in order to qualify for the grants, and some of the scholarships, and definitely for student loans, you have to complete. Have everybody heard of the FAFSA? FAFSA? So what the FAFSA is, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a moment as well. It is the free application for student aid, and it opens every October 1st. One of the things that I want to make sure that you know is this October 1st, be ready to complete this application. Okay, so for my 2024 graduates, so you'll complete the FAFSA this October for next year. So don't think, oh, I've got time, I'm not going off until next fall. You have to start the work now within starting October 1st. And then each year that you're in college and you're expecting, and Antonia, this is for you as well, every October 1st, make sure that you're completing that FAFSA so that you can, it will help to determine your financial aid.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Every year, and a lot of people don't do that. They oftentimes forget, but even if you qualify for a Pell Grant that's based off of your income or what have you, it's still probably not going to be enough to cover everything. So that's why it's important that we'll start talking about scholarships and where to find those in a moment. But then also know this. Some people think, oh, well, I'll be able to take out student loans. If that's your choice and that's how you want to invest in your future. For freshmen, you will receive $5,500 per year. And remember, that's split in half, fall and spring. So $2,750 in the fall, $2,750 in the spring, and you come up with the rest for your tuition. And you already told me earlier how much you think it's going to cost. So if $5,500 comes off of that amount, how are you going to pay for the rest? Let's start getting a game plan. All right. This is not to scare you. I want to be real so that you're not surprised when you walk through those doors. I've seen students that get to school in the fall, they get to that dorm and the school is asking for a bill. They send them a bill and they're asking them you got to pay out of pocket before you can move in. Know before you go. And I'm glad that you're here to hear this information because it's going to be helpful for you later. So why should you apply for scholarships? According to the Institute for College Access and Success, the average college graduate has acquired at least $24,000 in student loan by the time they graduate. So we want you to avoid being handed a huge bill alongside your diploma. When you are crossing that stage with your college degree, 6 months later, student loan, Advantage and student aid, student loan, William Ford, all those people, they're going to come knocking on your door, not literally knocking on your door, but they'll be sending you something in the mail saying, all right, time to pay your loans back. So you can reduce the amount that you're paying back if you choose loans by applying for scholarships. Again, and I'll say this probably 1,000 more times, the more free money you receive now, the less you'll need to pay back and the lower your bill will be. So where do I look? The first place that you will look and that you will start, we've already talked about the FAFSA. So when you complete the FAFSA, a lot of times the schools they use that, and some scholarship organizations use your FAFSA information, the results from your application, to determine how much scholarship awards that you will receive. So that's why it's always important to apply for the FAFSA. The earlier, the better. That old saying, the early bird gets the worm, it's true. Okay, so where to look for scholarships? Your high school counselor's office, your college career office. If you don't know your counselor, if you know his or her name, great. I need you to get to know them even more. Let them know that, hey, I'm on track to go to college. This is where I want to do this. Where can I find scholarships? A lot of times organizations are giving those high school counselors applications for the school. Listen to your school announcements. A lot of schools will announce over the intercom, say, hey, we've got this scholarship application. See me at the counselor's office or what have you. Pay attention to those announcements because they do that a lot. Local clubs and organizations, fraternities, sororities, just Rotary clubs, Kiwanis clubs, all types of clubs, 100 Black Men of Rome, New Front, if you're in the Bartow County area, New Frontiers, all types of clubs and organizations. So search there and you will be surprised at how many different scholarships that you may find. If you attend church or synagogue, faith-based organizations, I know that within our church circuit, we have what we call the North Georgia Association, and they give out at least $1,000 to, I think one year they gave out $2,000 for a scholarship. So it pays to go to church. No pun intended there, First Lady Antonia. So
I got you.
Faith-based organizations. So look at the association, look at the state convention. A lot of times they have scholarships that are available for students. The College Financial Aid Office. This is a biggie. So I want you to make sure of this one, all students. So the College Financial Aid Office every year in the fall, I call it a scholarship portal. So my high school students, once you get accepted into the college of your choice, as soon as you get that acceptance letter, go to the financial aid website and start applying for those scholarships. So just like I was telling you about the FAFSA and how you apply in this October for next fall, you'll apply now, or once those scholarships come available at the institution for next fall. If you wait, there's only a small window of time. If you wait and you're like, oh, I'll just wait till May. Well, that window of time is closed and you won't be considered for scholarships. So always remember to start there, because that's where a lot of the money may come from. Your parents, where they work, check your local banks and credit unions. The library, I know a lot of people don't like to go to the library, but I like going to the library. Why? Because I find good stuff in there. I find big books full of scholarships that you can look up. Social media, TikTok. I have a TikTok channel. A lot of times I post different tips for finding scholarships. Instagram, go to any of your social media outlets and in the search bar, search for scholarships and tell me what you find. As a matter of fact, let's stop right now, because I think somebody may have a phone in their hand. I want you to open up, let's see, does anybody here have TikTok?
Yes.
All right, open up your TikTok channel.
Oh Lord, let me turn on mute. Yeah, I want to make sure it's off.
I had to turn mine down as well. Go to your TikTok channel and
Okay.
Let's see. And in the search, click your search and type in scholarships for 2023.
Okay.
And look what comes up. There are different people on there that are giving different scholarships that are available. And one of the things that I like to share with people is play around with your wording. So that's just one way to put scholarships for 2023. If you are attending an HBCU, if you type in HBCU scholarships for 2023, look what you find. But now you'll have to comb through to see which ones you'll apply for, or that will apply to you and that you will qualify for. But information's out there. You can do that with Twitter. You can do that with Facebook, and with Instagram. Social media is your friend. It can be your friend. So those are just some tips on where you can go to find some scholarships. Any questions so far? Okay. What did y'all think about that? Have you tried that?
To be honest, I didn't until I went ahead and downloaded the book. And as soon as I came across that, I was like, let me go look, because I didn't even, I mean, I know I see stuff on there, but it didn't register to like pinpoint what I'm looking for specifically to see what could be out there.
And so now I didn't try this, but for you being a graduate student, you could type that in there. Scholarships for what will you be majoring in with your master's?
A master's of arts in teaching. So elementary education.
Okay. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Got into URI for elementary education with a scholarship. List of scholarships accepting applications for African. If you just keep playing with that wording, it'll probably pull you up some different things that you can consider. Also, if you're working, you could check your with your employer, see if they do any type of employee match. Yeah, that will also, that's another tip for my graduate students.
Thank you.
Different websites. I know you've probably seen the CAPEX and the what do you call it? The Essex, and here's some other ones here. UNCF. If you're attending an HBCU UNCF is a good one, and I've had some students that yielded some results. The Thurgood Marshall Scholarship site is also really good for students that are attending HBCU. I had a student that just graduated from Tennessee State, and she won about $10,000 on the Thurgood Marshall. So a lot of times I'll give advice about where to go find them. But then if you can give feedback, I can actually like endorse and say, hey, these really are legitimate scholarships. So, so as you win, make sure you let me know and we can keep our list updated. But these are different websites that you can go to. Now, let me pause here. This is not on my screen, but because I think, is everybody online from Georgia? If you're not, even if you're not from Georgia,
They're from Georgia.
Cool.
They're not gonna say anything.
Okay, you're you're good. You're good. So the Hope Scholarship. So if you go to Georgia Futures website, there's a list of scholarships there as well, in addition to your Hope Scholarship. So with the Hope Scholarship, you have to maintain a 3.0, and there are different criteria. So make sure you ask your counselors if you are on track or if you're qualifying for the Hope Scholarship. So that's part of your homework. Find out if you are on track and qualify. There's a whole nother workshop that I do on that one. So we're going to keep going from there. At the library, I found these books. I know this says 2018, but it still has some good scholarships in there. This Ultimate Scholarship book, 2023, that came from the local library. Let's see, I see something in the chat. Okay. Thank you, Zion. Yes, I see your answer in here. Thank you, Zion. Your Ultimate Scholarship book. Let's see. And here's some other ones. So, Antonia, this is one that you could also download. Scholarship Strategies for Students Already in College, Marianne Reagan's. 501 Ways for Adult Students to Pay for College. There's different things in there that are helpful. Find it at the library.
500.
And some things that you'll be like, I didn't even think about that. That's another resource for you. So how much money is out there, guys? A lot. There are thousands of dollars that literally go unclaimed each year. So one of the things that I see is a lot of students say, I'm not going to, that little scholarship, that $150 or $200. Look at the small ones, apply for the small ones, they add up. By the time you look at the cost of your books, and Antonia, you can be a testament to those books are expensive. So if you can get $150 book stipend, apply for it, get it, because it can help offset the cost of college. As I shared earlier with the book that had 2018 on it, some may not have an updated website, or it may look like it's an old book, but I was able to find some scholarships for my son, and the website was not updated. The actual date, it was questionable, but there was some contact information in there. There was an email address. So I emailed them and said, hey, is this scholarship still available? And they're like, yeah, absolutely it is. And so now I'm still on their list and getting different scholarship opportunities. So don't let that deter you. And when you're looking for these scholarships, approach it like a part-time job. Apply for multiple. I had a student that graduated last year. She got a full ride to Berry. When I say full ride, she paid $0 out of pocket. And it was not just for athletics. She got the full Zell Miller because she had a 4 point something. Literally. She had taken all the APs or what have you. And she is playing sports there, but she got a full ride. But one of the things that she did, even though she made the grade, even though she was very active and involved, she continued and she still approaches looking for scholarships like it's a part-time job. And she's doing really well with that. And guess what? So although she's already, all that's paid, any other scholarships that she may receive, that's money in her pocket. Refund check. Can somebody say refund? Yes. Money in your pocket. Other scholarship tips: when you're trying to win a scholarship, the last thing you want to do is make a huge mistake on your application. But unfortunately, a lot of students do just that, and it can cost you a chance to win the money. So make sure that you remember deadlines, answer all the questions, proofread, and then proofread again. Then have your mama, your auntie, and grandma, and all of them to proofread again. Because believe it or not, I have seen scholarship organizations that will read and they'll find, because they got to award something, so they got to award somebody, so they will find least little thing and you'll be waitlisted or put in the trash can. So make sure that you put your best foot forward with all scholarship applications. Some other tips to win is to get involved in different extracurriculars. Don't just be a part of clubs, try to be the leader. Because a scholarship organization, they like to see, oh, I help out at my church, or I help out in the community, I help with the canned food drive. But what will really make you stand out is that you organized the canned food drive, or you took the leadership role in helping to collect. So keep that in mind as well. And don't wait till the last minute to complete the application. Don't wait till the last minute. All right. Letters of recommendation. So while you're sitting around at home this summer, start thinking about which one of your teachers could give you a good recommendation. I have a resource on my website that I can send you that is a senior brag sheet. And what that senior brag sheet is, you're able to list all of your accolades, all the extracurriculars that you've taken part in, all these different things you're able to list on that brag sheet to give to whoever you're going to have recommending something, doing a recommendation letter for you. So I'll send that out to you by email so that you'll be able to list all of your accolades and send it out so they'll know what they're writing about. So ask early, because your teachers, your counselors, they're busy. They're dealing with a lot of students. So make sure you ask early enough so that you're not stressed at the end, because you want to beat the deadline. And when you get that recommendation letter, remember to say thank you. The thank you goes a long way. When you get awarded that scholarship, say thank you. It'll help you stand out from the crowd. Scholarship scams are out there. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. If it asks for application fees, you should never have to pay any application fees for a scholarship. Now, there are people out there that I know people, some of my colleagues, they don't charge to search for scholarships. You can search for scholarships on your own, but people will pay them for the time, because they'll actually go and compile a list or what have you. So beware. So you'll know if it's a scam or not. So if it says that you've been selected or your scholarship is guaranteed, it's a scam. Run. Questions so far?
I do have a question. So for the upcoming seniors and everything, with the letter of recommendation, should they ask the counselors or teachers for a hard physical copy or for like an email copy so they can reuse it, or does it matter?
I would ask for it. Really, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter. It depends on the scholarship organization. Some may ask for a sealed, and some may not make a difference. So you can maybe ask for two, and you can make a copy. You can have it sealed, or you can have one that you just make copies of. But the emailed works as well. But it just depends on what scholarship you're applying to.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Great question. So we've already talked a little bit about tuition and those hidden fees. It's not really hidden because you got to pay your lab fees. You probably have to. I remember one of my kids got their tuition bill, and I'm like, why are we paying a fee for the Coliseum? Why are we paying a fee for this museum and all? What is that? But those are fees that's included that you can't get out of. And believe me, I tried to talk them out of like, can you please take that off? But those are things that you may not recognize, but will help to, it drives up the bill and you can't do anything about it. Think about gas. So going, when you're coming home, if you're staying on campus, you're coming home, your parents or your guardian coming to visit you, it takes gas. We already talked about books and they are very expensive, and I've got some resources for you on that as well. You got to eat. Even though you may have a meal plan, you got to eat. So you got to factor in grocery bills. Now, college is not just about going and studying. That's what you should be doing, studying all day, every day, for real. But in reality, you're going to have some extracurriculars. You're going to want to go out with your friends. You want to go probably have dinner and a movie or something like that. So it's all about budgeting. So make sure that you remember that there are some extra costs that can creep up on you. And I want you to be prepared for that. So I'm going to skip this slide because we kind of talked about that. We talked a little bit about proofreading and the importance. So a lot of scholarships are going, the majority of them that I say are legit, they're going to ask you to write an essay. So when you write those essays, you want to put your best foot forward on those. Know who your audience is. I like to advise students to go and research the organization that's given the scholarship and see what kind of students that got it in the year or years previous. So that way you can kind of get a feel of, okay, this is what this organization is about. If they ask you to, let's say, that's one of the questions that I say, why I see all the time, what is that question? Why do you want to go to college? Directly answer the question. But then remember, there are other people that are competing for the same scholarship money, that same $5,000. So you want to build on your accomplishments, show that you're well-rounded, tell your story. What makes you stand out from the crowd? Why you? Why should they invest their money? And this is where you're able to share that in that essay, because you're not going to meet these people, but they're going to be looking at you on paper. So that's why you have to put your best foot forward. That's for whether you're in high school or Antonio, if you find some for adult students as well. This is another resource that I like to use. This is on Amazon. It's by the College Board, the college application essay. It gives you some samples. And of course, you've already downloaded Money Matters. So thank you for your support of Money Matters. There's the tips that I have in there as well. And I cannot say this and stress this enough. Deadlines, deadlines, deadlines. One of the most important things to keep in mind are deadlines when preparing to apply for scholarships. Start your search early so you do not miss the deadlines. True story. There's a scholarship organization that I know, they're looking at, okay, so they may have a June 30th deadline, but they're already looking, once they post those scholarships, they're already looking to see who's applying. So sometimes, like I said earlier, the early bird gets the worm. Sometimes they're looking at, did he or she procrastinate, or did they go ahead and apply? They look at those types of things. If it says to mail it, make sure that it's postmarked for the date or before the date. Because if it's due June 30th, 2023, and they receive it on July 1st, I don't care what time, but if it says July 1st on there, you run the risk of not getting considered. So got to stay on top of it. Watch those deadlines. Again, we've already talked about, and we're almost done, guys. What set you apart? Remember, hundreds of other students are applying for the same scholarships that you are. Why you? Look at my little men down here. So who would you give the scholarship? Who would make you be like, let me find out more about this person? I'm not saying you have to stand on your head, but you need to make sure that you stand out. Tell your story. Show what makes you stand out and why they should invest in you. You will probably have to apply for multiple scholarships in order to see a good return. Not to scare you, but to be real, as I am. What if I'm not awarded? it is possible that you may not win a scholarship. I've seen students that have applied for multiple and not get a penny. So keep applying for others. You could, so there's some things that you could do if that happens to you, like I'm considering a gap year, and we've already talked about working and saving money. You could go to a 2-year, get your core classes out the way, all those types of things. Those are things I could guide you with later on. But if you're not awarded, keep researching, keep on applying, seek other financial aid options, as we just talked about. Save your money, prepare to pay the difference, because it's possible. Now, Ms. Glow, you said all this, you scared us, you just gave us all this information. Is college really worth it? Yes, absolutely, it is worth it. Individuals who complete a degree or certificate program have a better chance at earning more money than someone with a high school diploma. So it is worth it to go to college. Now, one more thing, and once you graduate from high school and you get into college, it's not a race. You're not racing against anybody but yourself. So be true to you, be true to your financial situation, be true to your family situation. Don't try to compete with what your friends are doing. I know it's easy to do, but stay true to you. And whatever your goal, I'm here to help you. You've got aunties, uncles, you've got a village that's here to help you. If you have questions along the way, if you take your phone and scan my QR code there, that'll take you to my website, where it'll give you information where you can schedule a time to meet with me, or you can call me directly. Antonia has my personal number, so if you need to reach me, I'm here. So just keep going, keep your head up, and let's do this. I'm excited. I'm excited for you, and I know that you're going to win some scholarships. As Audrey Hepburn said, nothing is impossible. The word itself says that I'm possible. So I hope this information has been helpful to you. Any other questions that you may have before we end our time together? I'm going to launch one more poll. How helpful was this information? If you can humor me with my poll, that would be great.
It was very, yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other questions that you have for me at this time?
Right now.
Okay. So again, I'm available. I've been working with students for this year will be year 8 for me with Harvesting Scholars, and I've been working with students all over the United States and helping them to understand the college admissions process, how to compare the cost of colleges, selecting the best fit college. Guys, are any of you are you athletes? Are you looking at playing sports or anything on the next level to help offset college?
Yes, boys, y'all unmute and say yes.
Is Landon even here? In here? I'm sorry.
No, he's supposed to be with you. Oh, okay.
Oh my
Well,
gosh. No.
Landon is.
Yeah, Landon.
There's Caleb.
Hell, yeah.
Okay. Well, look, don't be scared of me.
I'm not.
He's quiet anyway. But no, I after I thought about it, and I said no questions. I did have one question. I know they weren't able to get on at the beginning because we were going back and forth, and I was trying to get them on. But will you repeat the part about the college tour that you do for the upcoming, or for them? Because I did want them to hear that and see if that was something that they were interested in going to.
Yes, absolutely. So we actually have a college tour that's scheduled for June 23rd. We're going to Georgia State and to Georgia Tech on June 23rd. So y'all are welcome to get on the bus. I actually haven't posted that yet because I wanted to make sure that those that really, really need it and really, really want to go, that are serious, get the information first, because I know as soon as I post that on social media, it's going to be full. So if that's
Yeah.
something that you're interested in doing and going with us,